13. A wee problem. As far as Pearl could tell, things weren't going well over on the island. The lake monster was licking the side of Ben's face the way a mama cat would lick her kitten. Poor Ben, Pearl thought. Then the monster stuck its green head into the lake and emerged with a wiggling fish in its mouth. After dropping the fish next to Ben, it blinked its huge eyes expectantly. Ben picked up the fish and pretended to take a bite. The monster smiled and licked Ben's face again. Funny. There he is, Pearl told the leprechaun as they stood at the end of the dock. I need you to get him off that island. As soon as you do that, you can have your gold. Then she called, Hi, Ben. Ben looked across the narrow expanse of water that separated the dock and the island. He dropped the fish and stared open-mouthed at Cobblestone. Pearl could guess what he was thinking. Oh, no, what has she done now? Don't worry, he's a leprechaun. He's going to grant me a wish. I have his gold. Are you crazy? Ben shouted. Another lick from the creature toppled him onto the sand. He wiped his face with his sleeve. Pearl wondered if they had any shampoo at the dollar store that would wash away lake monster slobber. Go ahead, she urged the leprechaun. Do your magic. Cobblestone told you he has no magic. Why do you not believe? She didn't want to call him a trickster to his face. There's no time to argue about this. Just help me, please. He shrugged. Cobblestone thinks you should leave the human boy on the island. He'd be fine. Leave him on the island? I can't do that. Why not? She frowned. Because he doesn't have a sleeping bag or a toothbrush, and he can't eat raw fish and pine needles, and if he doesn't go home this afternoon, his grandfather will come looking for him. Then the police will come looking, and if they find out about this hospital, Dr. Will have to move again, and I don't want her to move. I want to keep working here. She couldn't hold the coffee can any longer. With a grunt, she dropped it between her feet. As she did, the can's rusty rim fell off. Sorry, she said, trying to put the piece back into place. The leprechaun glowered at her. I said I was sorry. Why do you keep your gold in this cruddy old can anyway? His eyes drooped with sadness. The last human who stole Cobblestone's gold also stole Cobblestone's beautiful pot. Oh. Pearl felt a bit sorry for the little guy. And even though the situation with Ben was urgent, questions popped into her mind. Pearl had never been good at holding back questions. Did your beautiful pot get stolen in the known world? Or did it get stolen in the imaginary world? And if so, does that mean there are humans living in the imaginary world? He looked away and mumbled something under his breath. Then he turned his back to her. She sighed. Look, she said, I'm sorry that I've ruined your rusty coffee can. And I'm sorry that I took your gold. But it was the only way I could get you to help me. Could you please use your magic and get Ben off the island? Then you can go back to the steam room, and I can get back to being an apprentice. Achoo! Gold dust sprayed from his inflamed nostrils. Cobblestone told you. Cobblestone's magic be clogged with sniffles and snot. That's why Cobblestone came to see Dr. Wu. When Cobblestone be cured, Cobblestone's magic will return. Pearl stomped her foot. You're still trying to trick me. Mustering her bossiest voice, she pointed at him. You better grant me my wish or... The dock shook as something large and green crashed into one of its posts. Pearl jumped back. The lake monster's long neck arched, then sprang at his target. Ah! Cried the leprechaun as he rose into the air, plucked from the dock as if he were a ripe berry. Oh, no! This was going all wrong. Pearl stood helplessly, her arms hanging limp at her sides, watching as the leprechaun was carried to the island. With a plunk, he landed in the sand. Ben, who'd taken the opportunity to try swimming again, was yanked from the shallows and deposited next to the leprechaun. They looked at each other. Then they turned and glared across the water at Pearl. The lake monster dumped a fish on the leprechaun's lap and smiled. Pearl stomped her foot. Drat 1,000,000 times. But hey, maybe this wasn't such a terrible turn of events. Surely the leprechaun would use his magic to get himself off the island, and he could bring Ben with him. Cobblestone, she called, pointing to the coffee can. I still have your gold. Bring Ben and you can have it. Cobblestone tossed the fish aside and sneezed, then sneezed again. He folded his arms and remained sitting in the sand. Why wasn't he doing anything? Did he truly have no magic? His next sneeze was so loud it echoed off the hospital's back wall. Ben knelt next to the leprechaun and said something to him. Then he called out to Pearl. I think he's got a fever. He's all sweaty. Fever? A shudder ran up Pearl's spine. A fever came when someone was really sick. Ben ducked as the monster tried to lick his face again. Pearl, he yelled, go, get Mr. Tabby. He was right. She hated to admit it, but her plan was a disaster. What if the leprechaun got sicker? What if he got so sick that She needed help. She ran up the dock and was about to jump off when she noticed a signpost that had fallen over. Pushing the green blades aside, she read the sign's message. Warning, lonely lake monster, stay clear of the water. Lonely? A knot formed in Pearl's gut. She didn't like that word. It had been a rough couple of years in Buttonville since most of the kids and their families had moved away. Even though she tried to keep herself busy with adventures, playing alone was a drag. Loneliness had become a common feeling for Pearl, as common as the ache of an empty stomach in the morning. But now it made sense. The creature had taken Ben and the leprechaun because it wanted friends. A shadow fell over Pearl's face, and she darted away before the lake monster's jaws snapped shut. The creature had sneaked up on her. Its long neck reached the length of the dock. You're not taking me to your island, Pearl told it. It batted its lashes innocently. Then it made a soft, sighing sound. Pearl craned her neck, looking up at the huge green face. Was that a tear sparkling in the corner of its eye, or just lake water? I'm sorry you're lonely, she said, softening her voice. The creature cocked its head, listening. I wish I could find you some friends, but I don't know any other lake monsters. If the creature had some friends, it might let Ben and the leprechaun go. And then a plan as brilliant as the sun filled Pearl's mind. Maybe the friends didn't have to be real lake monsters. I'll be right back.